Hi,
That's
everybody.
me.
Welcome to the HarvestWeen stream. This is our inaugural stream for Frame Break. We're super excited to be here and show everything off to y'all. We've got a whole bunch of things that we're looking to show off, whether that's gameplay or whether that's Q&A or whether it's just answering spooky questions. We are super excited to have you all here. Um, it is super also exciting that this is also, in fact, on Day of the Dead as well, Dia de los Muertos. This is November 2nd, so we're on the tail end. And this is, of course, also in the lead up to our attendance of the physical event of Day of the Devs, happening later this week on Sunday. We are super excited. And in fact, tomorrow is going to be the digital showcase, so show up there, check out their website, and learn more about some of the excellent indie games that are going to be in the digital and physical showcases. Today with me, I have Anita, who is the CIP coordinator over at Framebreak. Say hi.
Hey,
And I
what's
also
poppin'?
have I also have Christina here, the 3D concept artist that we have as a part of the Framebreak team as well.
What up, nerds?
So today, just want to also let y'all know that the build that y'all be seeing is going to be an early build. It's our event build that we have going on. It doesn't reflect the final product, but it should show off a good basis of the core elements of the game, as well as the general idea of the mechanics, the aesthetic, things like that, to give you a good, initial idea of what a lot of the core aspects are going to entail, basically. We're super excited for you all to join us. If you have any sort of questions or anything else like that, please feel free to type those questions in chat, and we'll take them as we go. Otherwise, we've got our own little spooky set of questions and also other community questions that have been relayed to us. So let me get kicked off.
So excited!
So exciting. Here we go.
It's the first time actually we're streaming, so it's a huge deal. We're trying stuff out as well as we go.
So
Yeah.
this is the initial build that we've got going on. This is part of what we have as the guided demo. Everything that we've been able to kind of show off to people is mostly been kind of focused around trying to test out like the base elements of everything, getting a good sense of how people feel about UI elements, about how they feel about what it feels like to play crops, and, just generally explore the world of the frontier. So it's a super exciting time. But otherwise, my lovely pal Anita will be just taking some questions on the stream, as well as answering some questions that we've already been asked previously. So take it away, Anita.
Yeah, sure. So as Sebastian said, we're also open for you guys to send in your questions as well. We have an eye on the chat as well. But let's start off, since we started with like a little spoopy moment intro thing. So let's start off with a spoopy question. How about that? So I'm gonna direct this to Christina. Do you have a favorite scary horror game that you play?
A horror game. So I'm a bit of a weenie, I have to admit. So anything that involves jump scares is usually I will cower at that. But I have a soft spot for the old horror pixel RPGs. I'm thinking like Mad Father, Ao Oni, what was it? Witches.
Have you played it?
Not yet. It's on my playlist though.
Dang.
I've heard so many good things about it. Just those vibes.
Yeah.
Just a little more on the psychological side. What about you though?
Oh, me? So I'm a sucker for like those twisty, creepy, eerie type of games.
Gosh,
so
yes.
I actually have a little lead up until Halloween where I only play like creepy games and I surround myself with horror stuff. And then, Halloween is the final lead up to that, and we party and have fun. But I think my favorite one, it's not horror per se, but Alice Madness Return.
Oh my gosh, a classic.
Yeah, it's so weird.
And yeah, Daniel, I haven't played Scorn, but I'm a huge fan of Yes, there it is. There's the dude. I love the H.R. Geiger aesthetic. Honestly, like Alien is one of my favorite movies of all time, as is Aliens. They're both really, really just like they're amazing. They're both amazing in their own rights, and so is like Scorn. But yeah, no, I'm very much. I honestly my one that really got me whenever it first came out, just because it's like a terrifying concept overall, was Five Nights at Freddy's, and I think
Oh.
that was the real like informative
Whoa.
one to me of like what real, like really like truly like terrifying horror is, at least for me, is like horror games where you can't do anything about it, like where you have so few things that you could potentially like react in such a way. And again, like that's kind of what Five Nights at Freddy is, number one. And number two, like I absolutely did grow up, going to like Chuck E. Cheese whenever I was a kid. And you know what? Like it was the exact, oh my gosh, yes, Backrooms, that's another good one. But yeah, no, exactly that same sort of vibe where all you can do is run or react in such a way in which like it only delays the horror, basically. And yes, Amnesia, right in that same boat of I remember a distinct moment for Amnesia. I remember two distinct moments where it was like in the middle of noon and I was playing it with my friends, and the sun was out, whatever, like, and even then, like, as soon as like we saw one of those horrors come through the door, we were all collectively just screaming in anticipation,
Oh, like Little Nightmares has that kind of vibe as well, right? Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. And yeah, Outlast. Oof. I could never. I could never.
Oh my
That
gosh.
is just jump scares.
I was about to say,
right there.
even the very first like opening moments of that game are just like so intense, right? It's just so it's like you're trying to avoid like the thing that is like the most inevitable force in the world, just like trying to kill you. Oh boy.
Oh, we have a question about like horror escape rooms. Like, how are you on those? What would that be? Is that Phasmophobia? Would that count as one? Or like inside the back rooms would be that as well.
That seems like it. That, and again, like as referenced before, like Backrooms is also super scary if you've seen or played that.
Yeah.
That's a little bit more comedic to me, but it still is absolutely terrifying because like the images that people use for those are like extremely creepy, of course, like by design.
Is that the game where there's like this wire type of ghost? And you hide in the what's it called? In the closets?
It's more. It's mostly like a Gmod game where it's like a creepy image that has some sort of like repeating audio or something like that.
Yeah.
Usually they like put some meme audio on it, but that you basically just have to run. Like you have no ability to really stop whatever is chasing you. It simply keeps going until it hits you, and all you can really do is do what you can to last as long as you can. Inside, that's the one. That's by the same folks who did Limbo, right? I think.
Yeah, it's their follow-up, I think.
That, oh my gosh, that.
Yeah.
I honestly like. I'm more impressed with that, like on its like artistic capability of just like how excellent it is at creating an atmosphere. Yeah, that I love that to death for sure.
Yeah, I remember Limbo was kind of groundbreaking when it came out. It
Oh,
was
absolutely,
so
yeah.
interesting in the art style and how they used the shadows, and I was terrified.
No, I mean, I absolutely was too, for sure. I was not about that life. Especially like as soon as I saw like a giant spider, like a giant whatever shadow of a spider come through, I'm like, nope, I'm good. I'll maybe watch scenes from it. That's,
Yeah. Yeah, we also had a comment like that the games that we talked about sounded way too horrible. Like I maxed out at Stranger Things, and I'm like, I can relate to that.
That's kind of in the same way, like why I can only play like a certain amount of Dead by Daylight, as an example, is just because like it's so like you immediately start getting sweaty about it, and that in and of itself just like that just terrifies me. Yeah, no, this War of Mine, man, this War of Mine is some real stuff, and that's a whole different ball game. Just like complete reality. I do love 11-bit's work though. They have some real bangers for sure.
Yeah. I also want to give a shout out to the OG horror game, Super Mario 64.
Oh my god.
That freaking piano that came to life when you're about to hunt a red coin. Oof, that got me.
Dude.
Did you play that as well, right? Yeah.
Oh my god.
I still feel how my blood, I can still relate to that feeling of my blood just freezing.
Okay, did y'all ever play
Yeah.
Did y'all ever play Jak and Daxter?
Oh no, but I know the game, yeah.
Okay, so there's like a mechanic in Jak and Daxter where if you swim out too far or if you get too far away from like land, this giant fish immediately pops up and starts like chasing you, to basically like as a soft mechanic to keep you like in the area. And Subnautica took that same thing and like took it to 11 basically, where instead of like it doesn't have like hard boundaries. It's just like yeah exactly same thing, where basically Subnautica does the same thing, but instead of it being just like this whatever like big fish, it is this gigantic Leviathan-esque creature that again like you can't fight, you can't keep away from. It is just you deep in the water trying to avoid this massive ghostly serpent creature, and it is absolutely terrifying, but it is still like it's such an innovative way, at least to me. And that's at least like one of my favorite things that I remember reading about was on the sea level, absolutely. That was one of my favorite things about reading about Subnautica is like it's the difference of terror versus horror, in which like horror is like deliberately designed to make you scared, and that puts you in scary scenarios, and terror is just like by nature of its own existence is just scary as heck.
Oh, hold my brain. I know which level. I think it was Treasure Cove.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that shark. I would never step my foot in the water because of that freaking shark. I wonder where my fear of water has come from.
No idea. Thanks for that, Rare. Thank you very much.
Right. We talked a bit like about spiders and stuff, which made me think of if there's anything we're scared of, like any horrors or spooky things, like phobias, or if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, man. I of course grew up in South, and so of course like there's always just that like Southern Gothic vibe of like being out in the middle of like a rural sort of area, and you're like I have no idea what's gonna come next, but whatever it is, I am scared of it.
We have a question from Cyber. Will there be water monsters in Lightyear Frontier? Ooh, monsters? I think we would definitely have something in the water. So we're exploring a bit our options there. But we're very early in that process. But definitely something.
Yeah, we're definitely there's going to be a lot of critters for you to be able to sort of interact with, and especially like not even just like in ocean environments, but like if you here, I'm gonna run over there real quick. But even if you go into say these little ponds over here, there should be critters within their own little ecosystem that you'll be able to interact with or even just see. So that'll be a part of it for sure.
Yeah, it's part. We want the world to be as alive as possible. So, and critters and animals very much tie into that. So that will be something that you will see more of later on, definitely. But should we look into making a monster?
Oh my gosh, could you imagine?
Speaking of Leviathan.
No.
Speaking of
Oh
shark that just follows you.
Chomp, chomp, chomp.
Absolutely
Chomp, chomp,
terrifying.
chomp,
No,
indeed.
God. That
No.
again, and another one, honorable mention. I'm back to your Super Mario 64 ref. I gotta throw in Chain Chomp on there. Like you're just
Chain chomp.
you're terrified to even pass by the Chain Chomp because like you're like, oh God, am I gonna get hit?
Oh,
Is something gonna
I
happen?
feel that.
Yeah, the star by the it's in the first level, right? The star that's by the bars.
Yes,
And there's
by
the chain
on the
chomp
chain.
going like, oh.
It's immediately gonna dart and hit you in the face. Yes, Onigiri. That is like to me like the very quintessential like Southern Gothic vibe. And if you've ever seen Over the Garden Wall, that is a perfect example of what like Americana Southern Gothic like spooky vibes absolutely like dive into is the spooky shadows that you hear at the edge of at the edge of the woods. And if you yeah, exactly, the beast. And if you talk to, it's so funny, if you talk to anybody from Appalachia, like the mountains on the eastern side of the U.S., they'll tell you, they'll be like, if you hear something in the woods at night, you didn't hear anything, don't go out there. It's not worth it. Like you whatever you hear, we don't know what it is, and we don't want to know what it is.
There's actually, I didn't know that was a thing. I thought it was like some creepy pasta, the whole Appalachia Trail. Because I'm listening to this podcast about Appalachia. What's it called? Old Gods of Appalachia.
Mm-hmm.
And that is so. Oof. Oh, that series. You listen to that? I'm just very early on, and things are just starting to spiral.
I mean, that's the real thing, though. I love it. But also, sometimes there are some absolutely like whimsical thing. Man, do I really? I guess I need to listen to this because this absolutely intrigues me for sure. Especially because like one of my favorite stories that I remember hearing, thank you very much, is one of my favorite stories is there was a bridge in West Virginia in the 70s that had collapsed based on just like a misestimation of like what engineering specifications that they were looking for it. And whenever you ask locals of like why the bridge collapsed, some of the locals will tell you Mothman took this bridge down.
No.
Like I kid you not. Mothman is a huge thing in West Virginia. It's so good.
Wait, I'm reading here. Like the
Do you like the 19?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I'm here for those vibes for sure. And I'm also super excited as long as we're talking about spooky stuff. There is a band I really like called Murder by Death. Oh my God. If we could we
Actually, we were talking about monsters. Let's
oh my
let's do a tie.
God, I would die to see Mothman in this game. I would lose my mind.
We've discussed Godzilla in this game.
Of course. Because why not? Why not have a giant like landscape destroying monster as a friend, not as anything, destructive or just a pal.
Yeah, definitely. The Crooked Man? Have you heard about that? He shows up in Insidious 2. I never saw that.
The Crooked in Hellboy.
I only remember there was this horror game where there was this man with a very long neck, and it was hanging upside down.
Oh,
And that was so freaky.
Sounds terrifying. And you know what?
That sounds like a crooked man.
As long as we're talking mentions too, I'm definitely putting Half-Life, the first one, on that list. Exactly. Godzilla is here to repave the world so that we can provide nutrients to the soil so that we can grow more things. That's canonical.
Farmzilla.
Yeah, Farmzilla.
No.
God, give
I did on the stream. I did.
Give Godzilla a straw farm hat just as a little treat.
Oh, he would love that.
It would be adorable. For sure.
Okay, that is a good image.
Oh. Should I move on to another spooky question?
Yeah, see what you got.
So, do you have any spooky tales you like or know?
Oh.
Do you have like any from where you're from, Christina, or like something you heard of when you grew up?
So, I actually haven't had the time to research this proper, unfortunately. But I'm assuming that the Danish language is spooky enough to Swedes as is. So
the Danish man.
See, I was trying to explain this to, like, I had a party this past weekend, but I was trying to explain how, like, so much of Northern Europe dunks on the Danes, or at least the language.
Yep. That's the first intro. When I first met Christina, that was the first thing I commented on.
Oh yes.
We bonded of it.
Gosh darn Danes.
Oh my god, so good. But what spooky things are you talking about?
You mean Swedish spooky stuff?
Oh no, I meant from Christina's end. Were there any particular spooky things you were thinking about in particular that?
No, just Danish people.
The real ultimate fear.
We spoke. The main tales I consumed were always leaning towards the creepy pasta side of things.
Oh my gosh.
Like, gosh, I was obsessed with Slenderman and Ben Drowned.
A classic.
I stayed up reading the wiki for these, and I was just like, man, I can't stop.
Yeah, that was absolutely me for Five Nights at Freddy's for sure. The one that stuck with me, or that I had at least near me, was Goatman. And Goatman there's a place that was near where I used to go to college called Goatman's Bridge, and it is terrifying, at least in the sense that it is. Like, it's around old observatory, or an old missile site / observatory. So it's really, really dark out there, and it's deliberately dark. And of course, because it's out there, like in the middle of a rural area, you know, there's maybe only a few dirt roads. There's no lights. There's only like houses around it. And, you know, just by sheer happenstance, we wandered near it. And all you see around it is like this. It's just this dilapidated bridge that sits over this, again, eerily dark stream. And Goatman is basically just this ghost of a man who was, you know, killed probably in the early 20th century, like in the 1920s or so, and he just remains there to, you know, haunt anybody who potentially, like, you know, upsets the balance of the area. So it's always that, you know, that spooky vibe of like, there's nothing else out here. There's no light. It's you know, you're in the middle of the woods, away from everything else. So like, if you were making a journey over to Goatman Bridge, you were like, this was an undertaking, and you let everybody else know, like, hey, we're going to Goatman Bridge, and you know.
Yeah. I'll consider that after my trail up the Appalachian Trail.
Oh my gosh, I I wish those folks luck, man. Like doing the Appalachian or Pacific trails overall, I can't believe people
Yeah.
walk those. Like,
How long
boy.
are they? Like the Appalachian, do you know?
At least a couple thousand miles. I want to say, yeah, it is. It's a month-long endeavor, and very few people
Oh.
take it. But it's a huge undertaking. But like, of course, like once you reach the end of it, it is a huge like point of pride, you know. Oh, other favorite cryptids. What's y'all's take?
Oh, let me think. Does the Yeti count?
Yes, Yeti counts, at least to me.
Yeah, Yeti man. big floofer.
That and at least on a related note, again, like going back to the Americas, just Bigfoot, you know, just like
Bigfoot, yeah.
a pal who just wants to
Wow.
camp in the woods and simply has the supernatural power to make any photo blurry, no matter what.
Oh God.
Good one. Good superpower.
That's it.
I wish
you
I
know?
had that. Any photo of me? No, blurry. Can't
Here
see
we
that.
go. Let's see the run. My-
No, but I actually have a few Swedish ones.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And those are revolving actually around pigs for some
Oh,
reason. I
gosh.
have two. So we have one that's called Gluson in Sweden, and it's actually like this description is just so badass.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's up, Magos?
Magos! What's up? Hello!
Welcome. I was just about to tell an epic tale of a pig.
Spooky stories.
Yeah, but so Gluson basically is a white wild boar that you can find in the forest around winter time, and it has red, big, fiery eyes, and has like a whole like fire aura around it, and also a saw blade that's running back on its back. Yeah, for real. And its purpose
Gosh.
is to find you. If you see a Gluson out in the woods,
Uh-huh.
it will aim to run and charge in the middle of your legs. To either there's few like reasons to why he does that, and that is to either split you in half. Holy shit. Or throw you off somewhere, so you get to ride on him for a bit before he throws you out into like another part of the forest or into another country, whatever.
Gosh.
Or he will send you to hell.
Of course. Of
Or
course.
it's a sow. It's a sow. So it's a she, sorry. But yeah, so a white wild boar with fiery eyes that will split you in half by and the way to prevent this is by when you're in the woods you have to cross your legs.
Oh my
Good
God.
luck with that.
Cross your leg. Very practical. That is
That always happens in the woods.
that is
Always.
Why?
that is some Mononoke-esque like vibes right there.
Yeah. I actually have, if I can send I have a picture of this pig.
Oh
It's
my
actually
gosh, I'm
looking so
Ooh.
cute.
terrified.
I want to see.
There, let me send you a link. Hopefully it won't be marked as spam. Look at him!
All right, let me
Look at her.
let's see this.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
one metal
that
pig.
is it's both. It's one of those like you're like I'm scared, but I also want to pet it. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
Yes.
but
in a
this
strange
pig
way.
will send you to hell.
yeah, of course. And you know what? As long as we're being a little bit spooky. I mean, I know it's not necessarily a harvest one or a Halloween one, but I'm chucking in Krampus in here because Krampus is scary. Just frankly, like, and we're all aware of Krampus, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I am aware of Krampus through the Binding of Isaac.
Oh, oh boy. Yes, we're aiming to have multiplayer available at launch for sure. But yeah, no, Krampus is just scary for the sake of just stealing children, and just putting them on a bag and running away.
What?
An old woman with a crow's
Excuse
foot
me?
for a hand. Oh boy.
Always in the woods. Always.
That as long as we're on that,
Always.
it really is. Well,
Yeah.
maybe you know what? I'll chuck one that's not in the woods. I'll say it's yes, chupacabra absolutely does count. And actually, I was going in that direction. I am putting La Llorona on the list.
La Llorona.
Absolutely qualifies. Terrifying old ghost that like just scares the absolute crap out of people or kids who she happens upon. And she's a desert ghost, as far as I know.
Does she cry because of her dead kids or
I
something?
believe so, yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Oh.
And she's trying to find her kids, I guess? So,
I believe
yeah.
so, yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, not even just like Halloween horror stuff, but like there's so much other horror too, or at least like any sort, like, I mean, think of like the Grimm fairy tales, right? That is qualified as fairy tales when in reality it is some of the most like terrifying ideas, like the actual stories behind them, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, they actually have a kind of true to tale, I guess, on Netflix right now with the Grimm
boy.
story. And I was like, I was not told that story when I was a child.
Oh yeah, no, that's like
no.
that's like half of Disney stories, right? Where it's like I guess like a very much like massaged version of that story to make it a little bit more acceptable for the kiddos. Like I want to say like Little Mermaid is one of those. Well, there's a couple of them out there, and then there's like, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the terrifying aspect, right? Of like whenever you have like the desire to like get into the Wikipedia-ing of it, of like, okay, like what's the what are the origins of the story? Like who wrote this? And then you get into it and you're like, oh, like, my blocks really.
Skinwalkers? Yeah. Wouldn't that be like zombie-esque?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Let me look that up. I'm gonna look at pictures of them. I wish I didn't.
Wish I
No, now you're gonna make me go. No.
Don't do it. I need to know.
Oh, that's
How
so
does it
cursed.
work?
That is so
Go like
cursed.
that.
It seems like they have the superpower of blurry photos as well.
That's what I'm
as
talking
Bigfoot.
about. Oh boy.
Oh no, that is cursed.
I'm trying to think of like there's some other talking about that. What about the old sci-fi movies like Existence?
Oh, never heard.
Baba Yaga, absolutely. 100% qualifies. Terrifying ghostly grandmother, absolutely here. Yes, I'm actually currently being irradiated. I have an open.
You're currently gaining your superpower.
You know what? If my superpower is rapid radioactive decay, then I'm here for it. I guess. Can you tell the rest of the team that I'm busy being a sludge and that I'm taking PTO for the next 2 days?
Definitely.
Understood.
Hi Hulk, yes. You know what? If I could Hulk out, that would be excellent. That would be, I mean, maybe to a degree, but we'll get there. That's also one of my.
Getting there.
That's also one of my favorite things. And there's a game that I played like super obscure called Space Station 13, and one of the jobs you can have on it is you can be a virologist, and you can genetically engineer a virus that turns whoever you hit it with into a Hulk. So like if you're playing traitor, you can play this virologist, make a Hulk serum, inject yourself with it, and immediately start like absolutely clobbering the station. It's hilarious. I'm here for it.
Absolutely.
Well, I actually also have some suggestions that have been sent through via Discord using our suggestions command that we can talk a little bit
Love
about as
these.
well.
These are all so
Yes.
good.
Yes.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
So we have some suggestions from the community, and my favorite one here is just propeller hat cosmetic, and I'm like, oh yes.
See, I told y'all who are here from the Discord. I told you I was gonna put this in here. It's between that and the sloshing beans. I'm just saying.
So, yeah.
If
yeah,
you can
yes.
just imagine half of this cockpit right here, just with beans sloshing in the middle of it. Yes, it would be impractical. Yes, you wouldn't be able to see out of it like halfway. But yes, it would also be absolutely hilarious. Like
Washing beans? Why is this the
just
first time I'm hearing of this?
no, this has been a long point of discussion within the community. Is
Oh,
how
no.
how can we apply beans in any format whatsoever?
Yeah, the more beans, the better.
So just being able to grow beans will not satisfy your hunger.
Oh no!
It has to be.
It
You
has
have to
to
drown
be.
in them. Okay.
Yes, exactly. If I don't see there we go. Realistic
So
beam
many.
physics.
It needs to rain beans.
I'm sorry. The sigh of distress. Like I'm here for it. I'm here to cause trouble. Okay.
But we also have charm cosmetics for tools, mech, and exofarmer, and this is actually something we have discussed, but not decided upon. But it will be so cool to deck out like your vacuum, or drill or whatever with a few charms, just for cosmetic reasons. Because why not?
For sure. I mean, like that's kind of one of the things that we're also trying to emphasize, at least as a part of the mech, is how customizable everything is. Like, and of course, like beyond the amazingness of even just the two-tone color schemes. I mean, like the sheer opportunity, of course, of like the very typical like dice hanging from the mirror or something to that degree.
Oh, yeah.
Very much
Yeah.
gives like the same vibe of like this is my vehicle. This is my mech, and
Yeah.
and this there are many like it, but this one is mine.
Yeah, and for example, also hood ornaments, which is one of the suggestions here as well that has been talked about, and I think that is just such a given. That would be so fun to have.
For sure.
We have a question in the chat about
Yeah.
how much will players be able to change a planet, like planting, chopping trees, building paths and walls, because they like to decorate. And you know what? That's the vibe
Yeah.
we're looking for.
Yeah,
I'll let
yeah,
y'all take it away.
We're focusing so much on the player being able to decorate as much as they want on the planet to make their homestead their own, basically. So yeah, planting, chopping trees, absolutely. We're discussing path building as well, see how that plans out. Walls, fences, yeah. We want really the player to be able to express themselves through building. But no, I don't think we will go as far as terraforming. But we're still very early in the process of like deciding these things.
Yeah, and again, I do definitely want to reiterate, like everything that you are seeing here is still like relatively part of the early builds, and we are planning on being able to expand on these features like as we get through a post early access release point. So we're really looking at being able to provide sort of like the sort of basic experience of being able to do things again, like being able to break apart rocks and things like that, and then being able to take that and apply it to whatever the home or what your homestead is. So at least like right now what we have implemented thus far is being able to harvest resources like by by breaking up, doing things like breaking apart rocks and trees and things like that. Not so, again, like not so much in the earth shaping sense, but of course like being able to utilize your resources around you, and also that's kind of also the point of why we also have the farming aspect of it, of being able to create said resources, and also working to see what we can do so in a sustainable manner, which is kind of the excellent part about being able to plant it and use which resources that you're making yourself. So
yeah, and we also have upgrades for you to be able to destroy more, for example, like bigger trees or bigger rocks.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will probably not look into resurfacing the planet or shaping it. Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, like the whole purpose behind that is to make sure that the world that we're creating for the frontier is very much focused on making it like a very bespoke experience, because all of this, like the world is almost entirely handmade, right? Like it is entirely the team designing the zones and the features and things like that. So we're doing it also just because we also want to make it like the most like environmentally appealing scene that we can for you, for sure.
We have a fun Halloween idea from Megos. Cosmetic that swaps out the pilot with a pumpkin.
Oh my gosh. That would be so good. And also, gosh, that would be really absolutely cute. Cyber, yeah, absolutely. This actually is an example of me changing the color for a mech. You'll be able to, and we'll explain the customization a little ways down the line, at least in terms of that. But we definitely do, again, like I said before, like want to let you personalize your mech, and not only like the components that it has, but what it looks like for sure.
Yeah.
So super excited.
Yeah, and of course work with the planet, not against it. Yeah.
That is
one motto that
we have.
The
super overarching theme over everything, And in some instances, at least like in the early build that I've been able to play, and kind of one of the things that people have noted too, is if you do go all out and start pulling resources from trees and rocks and whatever else, you kind of start noticing as you get through the day is like, hey, I'm having to make farther journeys in order to be able to harvest these resources, and it's becoming more difficult for me to get more done within the day, basically, because of sorry, thank you, because of more of the journey that you're going to have to make to the sort of farther reaches of the space. So
yeah. I actually also want to reach out one specific question to those of you who are watching. So I know Halloween is like super big in America, right? And I know candy corn is what we would say water splitter. Translated from Swedish, it's like you either hate it or you love it.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, but like, is there any other like favorite Halloween candy that you like?
It's a good question.
Like,
what y'all got?
Yes, I'm asking the community. Oh, you do love candy corn?
Yeah.
I never tried it. What's your take on that, Sebastian?
So I definitely understand. I definitely understand. Yeah, no, I definitely understand why it's polarizing, because like it's one of those things of like it's got a very particular texture in which like it is like clumped cloistered sugar basically, and that it's like shaped into a particular thing of like it's, if you like it, it's really easy to just like get handfuls and pop them in your mouth. All right, thanks for joining. The people that dislike it are the enemies of the planet. That's right. They hate nature. No, it really is. Yes, it is 1,000% like more my, at least in the love it or hate it sense. The people who don't like it absolutely are not. They do not want anything to do with it. But again, it's just like little tiny morsels of basically just raw sugar with like some coloring in it. But it is just special, Ooh, you really do. I like York peppermint patties too. It's like it to me is like a giant like like a puck-sized junior mint almost, and I love junior mints. Yes, Home Brian, and it is the most.
With the
Oh.
curse. Is it actual pizza?
No.
It is, yes, it's a picture of an actual pizza with just like a bunch of candy corn melted on it. I have to. Oh my god, I need to find this just to curse everybody else with it.
Y'all be
Oh,
complaining
no.
of pineapple, and this
Uh,
is what. Yeah.
You know what? Like,
Hold on now.
here we
Pineapple
go.
on pizza's good.
Oh, you're sending some. Oh no.
It really is just like an absolute apostasy.
Who would think of it?
Why is it goopy like that?
Because it's sugar.
It's sugary juices. Why?
Because
Sebastian is done.
I'm sorry. This is what I live for. This is like in the same vein. It is. That is absolute like villainous behavior. That's when you start your villain arc. Is you make that.
I need a meme of this with you with the candy corn pizza.
Oh my god.
Somebody please
The
make it happen.
suffering. No, you know what? The good folks at Discord one year, I remember they made the absolute cursed creation that is the pizza, which is simply peeps, like the marshmallow birds, just
No.
put on a pizza and melt it onto it.
No.
Oh.
The Italians
Why
are
do these people?
cringing.
Oh, absolutely. I know we have like, we have Gianpaolo over at Amplifier, or at one of the other Amplifier groups over at Destiny Vit, and I kind of want to know what his perspective is on it, because again, like, on one hand, like, he has like, the knowledge of like these absolute cursed creations, but at the same time, I know like it's the Italian thing, right? It's honestly one of my favorite videos that I've ever seen is, I think this yes, the banana. I didn't want to say it yet, but the banana on the pizza is I can't. I need to try it just for like sheer almost morbid curiosity, but yes, as far as I know, banana on pizza is a thing, correct?
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
eat it
God.
proudly and loudly.
Not just banana, right? There's also like curry on
Yeah,
there, or like
yeah.
other sauce.
And peanuts. You can have those three
That
same pizza.
the peanut sauce sort of still makes. Okay, peanut and banana, maybe. Well, okay. Oh, this is. I feel like my brain is overheating trying to. It seems like it would be. Oh, will it be any animal NPCs? Yes, absolutely. We are. As we were talking about before, we definitely want to, have some critters that you'll be able to interact with throughout the world and give it a little more life.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely.
Banana with bacon bits and peanut butter. Oh. I don't.
I think that's a time.
That's a difficult one.
To present that.
One thing that I haven't tried yet that is apparently another Swedish thing that I haven't gone around to, but I've heard amazing things about is what is it, kebab pizza?
Oh yeah, we live by that. Christina can attest to it that it's a huge thing as a non-Swede in Sweden, right?
I'm here for trying that.
It really is. Y'all are big on your experimental flavors.
You know what? I gotta respect it to a degree. Like there are just some absolutely. I'm trying to think of like some of like the most. There are some cruel candies to give out there. I still have yet to find like a solid group of people that like black licorice, for example. Like that. You just have to have a very specific flavor palette for that to be like a thing for you.
Oh, now you're giving me ideas. This will be something I pitch.
I swear
We
to God.
should be able to grow black licorice
Oh my
in
God.
Lightyear
Oh
Frontier.
yeah.
Fight me.
All right.
I will fight with you.
I was about to say
will
next time in the office. That's it.
Black licorice.
You and me, we're squaring up. Simply. You know what? How about this? We'll do the best of both worlds, and we'll make black licorice pizza. You know, just
Oh
really,
my God.
just really cover all of our bases.
Sebastian, there's only so much you can say before the Italian gods come and bring you to hell themselves.
You know what?
True.
One of my favorite videos that I've seen, speaking of pizza, it's a video of this woman who, she just knows the amount of pain that she's going to cause, in that she goes to an Italian restaurant like in Italy, and she orders a pizza, and immediately as the waiter brings her out the pizza, she takes a ketchup bottle out of her purse, and you immediately see this man like recoil in absolute horror and shock. And I mean she starts laughing like ridiculously, and he realizes that he's been got, but like just the sheer instinctive reaction. I'm trying to think of like an American sense of that, which I think the only American thing I could really think of that would be like that would be, and I realize this might be controversial for some, if you order your steak well done. There's a line in King of the Hill in which he says, like, or which Bobby asks his dad, like, Dad, what do we do if they want their steak well done? And Hank just simply responds, we ask them politely, yet firmly, to leave. Like, it's just...
It's just no.
It's just a form of disrespect at that point. It really is just like the most... It's the most down to earth about it. I love it. But what else you got question-wise?
Oh.
Or suggestion-wise, either way.
Yeah, so we have a few like fun idle animation ideas, like rotating tools, which I think is super cool. Adjusting seat, which is of course, and pressing buttons. Yeah, I think that's a great idea, and I will actually put this forward to our animator, see what they can come up with.
These absolute mad geniuses.
Yeah, and then we have also a suggestion of hazardous crops and related handling. Now, this is actually something that we want to implement later on. It will not be in the early access, but we're looking for as we release more patches and updates, that this will be a part of that. Definitely.
For sure.
I mean, give us some good suggestions here.
No, it really is. And again, just to reiterate, if y'all have any sort of suggestions or anything like that you think you'd want to see later in the game at some point or another, absolutely feel free to jump into the Discord. We have our own little suggestions channel and even a suggestions command in which you can officially enter in your suggestion, and that will show up in the team's organizational backend. So they will be absolutely going over these suggestions and kind of being able to sort of pick out things that really sound good to them, or that might be feasible. So
yeah,
we're really excited about what ideas y'all have been able to pitch to us. It's a really great time.
Yeah, 100%. We know the community is so excited for this game, and y'all been there from the beginning, like very early on. Like we're not even in early access, and people are so excited. So we really want to get you all engaged and get you all to be a part of this we're making all together, basically.
We really are. No, it's really cool to see kind of how we can experiment with this sort of stuff and have ideas like like what you just said, Onigiri, like a treehouse base. Which would be absolutely super sweet. I'm imagining now like a little lift that you can drive the mech onto. What is going to be your approach to player feedback during early access? In other words, what would be the best way to give input? That is a great question. So the best way I think that players could potentially give input to us would probably be to either go on our Discord and put through feedback and suggestions in their respective areas and channels. And moreover, as we get through the update process, or as we update y'all on kind of the content that we're working on and sort of the key features of the game, we'll be opening things up to, discussion brainstorms effectively that are going to be focused on the blog updates and kind of the discussions that we're having with these blogs, so that y'all can, sort of, again, have a focused area for you to put particular feedback, for these particular updates. And then we can be able to sort of collect that and organize that and kind of see what are some concepts and ideas that would be really great to experience. And right now, what we have, at least for our guided demo, is we have a feedback form there for the guided demo. And as we progress, and as if we get to points where we have something like a beta or a demo or something like that, we'll definitely be making that available to y'all so that we can get more detailed input, not only on what y'all think would be good ideas, but also, how you feel about playing the game and kind of maybe slight adjustments that we can make to potentially improve that experience. So, like, a good example of this is if you look at the top here, there's a crossbar in the cockpit frame, and some of the people had sort of noted that it might obstruct the view a little bit too much, or at least it might get in the way a little bit in the middle of them playing the game. So one of the things we've actually been able to work on and implement is actually removing that crossbar and giving it more of a vertical glass setup so that you can have just more visibility of your environment and things like that. So so if you have any sort of suggestions or feedback or anything like that, definitely our Discord is going to be the best opportunity for you to be able to put that through. And you can find your Discord.
Please don't hesitate.
Sorry, go ahead, Christina.
I just wanted to mention, even if you think your feedback sounds harsh or anything like that, we want to hear everything. So just feel free to send everything.
Yeah, for sure. We absolutely, if you're able to go through, the best channels like we've sort of been talking about here and give us like a really good organized set of feedback for us to be able to take and work off of, that is extremely helpful and does a lot in order for us to be able to improve our experience. I will go ahead and sort of pivot this back to me. Okay, so just kind of rounding things out, I just wanted to let y'all know that this is probably around towards the end of the stream. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been a really, really fun time for us all. I think, ideally, hopefully I can speak for both Anita and Christina, that we've had an absolute blast being able to talk to y'all. Like I said before, in the coming, months, ideally, we're looking to share more of the core concepts, both of what we're looking to share as a part of early access, as well as what we're planning for after that point. And again, you can join our journey by following us on social media, or joining our Discord, or reading the blog updates as they come through. Additionally, like I said before, we'll be part of Day of the Devs towards the end of this week as a part of the physical event in San Francisco at the Midway. It's going to be a super exciting time, and if you want to check out more really cool indie games that have been curated, you can check out the 10th anniversary digital event of Day of the Devs tomorrow. It's going to be a really, really exciting time. Again, if you have any sort of suggestions or anything like that, please join our Discord. Put them in the respective channels, and again, like I said before, thanks for joining in, and we'll see you next time. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.